Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. You are listening to Beyond the Barriers with Coach Cindy
and Mayor Sherry. On the Beyond the Barriers radio show, we believe we have the power to change the trajectory of our economic, social, health, and education outcomes by removing barriers that lie within historically excluded communities through cooperative models.
And our show sponsors is Sand Hills Cooperation Association, located at 348 North Main Street, Troy, North Carolina, serving 5 counties: Montgomery, Randolph, Moore, Richmond, and Stanley County.
Today we are discussing health in historically excluded communities. We will shed light on the pervasive barriers faced by these communities, ranging from hesitancy in asking doctors important questions to challenges in adopting healthy eating habits. You will gain insight into the underlying factors contributing to these barriers and explore potential solutions for promoting better health outcomes in these often overlooked populations. We will work towards breaking down the obstacles that have long hindered access to quality health care and wellness in historically marginalized communities. Ready to ignite change? Sand Hills Cooperation Association empowers historically excluded communities, helping them become self-sufficient. Join us every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. for our Beyond the Barriers radio show on WDRB Media with Mayor Sherry
and Coach Cindy, addressing community challenges. Visit us at sandhillscooperation.org or visit us on Facebook, Sand Hills Cooperation Association, building brighter futures one community at a time.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
We are on Beyond the Barriers radio show, and I am your host, Mayor Sherry.
And I'm Coach Cindy.
And we are talking about public health. And I know it's the month of March, and so this is the Women's Month.
We're celebrating women and health in the same month.
Right, exactly. So that's what we're doing. All this month, we will be focusing on health, and whether it be mental health, whether it be public alternative health, any type of health as it relates to our historically excluded communities. And so today's discussion is about public health. And we're not talking about alternative.
Not today,
but we will be coming
into that.
Right. So Coach Cindy, what have you been seeing in our communities as it relates to public health?
I think there's been some transitioning happening, especially since COVID. I think COVID has become a timestamp.
Right.
When you hear people talk, they say, oh, that was before COVID.
Right.
Or that's been since COVID. What it really speaks to is how consciously or unconsciously our health guides how we feel about time. Right?
Right.
If you're good, healthy, and strong, you're thinking life is gonna go long and good for you. But if you're not, then time becomes of an essence. It becomes more important. But as it relates to community and health, I think that since COVID, we have, as a community, at least been looking at our health more. Maybe not as much as we should, but now we're like on alert, because the viruses are still out there. The winter months brings this section of viruses as well.
Exactly.
So I think that maybe COVID has opened the door to us to say we better take care of ourselves.
Right.
Now, nationally and statewide, there have been programs that have been put in place, that catchment for those that are uninsured, because COVID also revealed that there were a lot of uninsured people were getting COVID, so medical bills ran up because people couldn't pay, but they were sick and had to be treated.
Right.
So I think public health has become a hot topic. I'm just not sure how hot the topic. I don't know if the heat of the topic is something that's going to warm our hearts, or is it something that's going to burn our butts?
Right. Gotcha.
So what do you think? What do you think when you think about public health?
So I know one of the things that I think of, it goes beyond just our physical. We see how the opioid epidemic is growing so much more.
Yes.
The vaping, all of our young people, we see the overdoses that are happening within our school systems, and all of that is occurring. There's a really big push for mental health.
Yes.
Because if our mental state is not right,
everything else is
it's just falling apart. And I think think so. You got, once again, like the post-COVID and how that the stress of that on the body. People are dealing with long COVID, the long-term COVID. So you have that going on, or just the fear of getting COVID.
Yeah.
That whole fear that was just put in that. So it's so much stress and pressure, and it is really weighing down on us, on our bodies.
Yes.
I was glad to hear about the Medicaid expansion here in North Carolina.
Yes.
I don't know the impact that would have. I'm still looking and just standing back and seeing what exactly that would entail, and if there will be any improvement in our historically excluded communities as far as health is concerned. Because is it that people haven't been going to the doctor because they don't have insurance?
Well, see, that's what I was hearing.
Right.
I think the idea is great. The expansion, I think, is a catchment for those of us who would take care of ourselves but haven't because we didn't have the insurance to do so. So let me give that.
Right.
But there's another side to it when it comes to our communities. And I don't know how it is in other communities, but I know that in our communities, oftentimes it's not really about whether we can pay for it. Sometimes the stigma behind being sick and being open about it. Like, we are prone to play off symptoms until we can't play them off anymore. For a lot of reasons. For social reasons, for spiritual reasons.
Right.
Or, well, let me just say religious
reasons.
Religious
right.
reasons.
Exactly.
And sometimes just because we don't feel, especially if it's a man, I've heard women all the time, my husband will not go to the doctor.
Right.
Sometimes for personal imaging reasons. We just don't want to go to the doctor.
Right.
And traditional medicines has did such a number on some people, the side effects of medicines, that they feel like, I'm gonna live till I die.
Right. And especially among our historically excluded communities, because you see Tuskegee with the syphilis, and and then even here in North Carolina, where they were taking women, our black women, and they were making them sterile based upon some experiments that they were doing. So it's like all of these different, has been definitely a distrust in traditional medicine. Grandma say go out there and we'll talk about that next week. Right. So when we're looking at traditional medicine, I guess we have to examine, how are we as a community, how should we be looking at traditional medicine? Should we go full force and say, hey, I'm going to trust my doctor, I'm going to depend on my doctor to tell me, because some people actually, they would trust their doctor before they trust anything and anybody else. So that's a form of authority. But in other areas, some people just don't trust them and just won't go because they don't trust them.
And all in the same community.
Right.
We have those that are extreme doctor and those who don't want nothing to do with a doctor.
Yes.
And so it keeps us in a place that we're not healthy. We're not mobily healthy. As a community, we're not looking or seeking those. I'm not looking out for your health as I should my own health, because I'm over here siloing. I'm one of those that if the doctor didn't say do it, I ain't doing it.
Yes.
And you over there saying, I don't care what the doctor say. I know what's working for me. Right. And so where's our middle ground? Where do we come together and say, listen, traditional might not be for you. Let me help you explore your alternatives. And you say the same for me. Well, alternative medicine might not be something you want to do, but let's see how you can best use the traditional medicines that you have. So I think it all boils down to public health in our communities is still about us being true to ourselves, us being able to overcome some of the stigmas about our health, some of the things that we've been taught, and just saying, listen, we just need to talk about health. I mean, we talk about who died yesterday. Can we talk about who's living because we helped?
Yes. And I appreciate today's guest, who had dedicated pretty much all of her life was dedicated to public health. And so we're just going to go ahead and bring her in after this message. We will have none other than Mary Perez. Yes, the former director of Montgomery County Health Department. She served there. And so after this message, we're going to come back and we're going to interview her.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. She's an awesome source of health in our community.
She is. We'll be right back after this message.
Be Beyond the Barriers Radio Show.
Attention innovators, community builders, and champions of positive change. Beyond the Barriers Radio Show is inviting you to be part of our empowering journey. We're on the lookout for sponsors who believe in breaking barriers and amplifying voices in historically excluded communities. Want to showcase your brand or cause to our engaged audience? Visit Sandhills Corporation or to explore exciting sponsorship opportunities, from on-air endorsements to impactful commercials. Become a part of a platform that celebrates resilience, triumph, and community strength. Our show is not just about telling stories. It's about shaping narratives and making a lasting impact. By sponsoring Beyond the Barriers, you align your brand with a mission of inclusivity, empowerment, and positive change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org today to purchase advertisements, endorsements, or even secure a spot as a guest on our show. Let's break barriers together and create a vibrant, connected community. Beyond the Barriers Radio Show, where every sponsorship is an investment in positive transformation. Be a catalyst for change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org now. Beyond the Barriers Radio Show. Breaking barriers, building connections.
If you are just tuning in, we are discussing community health with the former health director of Montgomery County Health Department, Miss Mary Perez.
Hello, Miss Mary Perez. How are you today?
I am doing quite well, thank you.
Great. Can you just take the time just to introduce yourself and give us some background about yourself?
I am a transplant to North Carolina and Montgomery County. Originally born, raised, and educated in Connecticut. My parents moved here, and they were like, you come down here, we'll give you land and you can build a house. I originally had a Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing, which I received from Western Connecticut University in Connecticut. And I moved here, and I first worked at Montgomery Memorial Hospital. That's what it used to be. And I went from a floor nurse to supervisory position. I did some part-time work for the prison system at the small unit, Montgomery County. I kind of got a little tired of the hospital, so they offered me a full-time position at the prison. I went there and started working. Then I decided I was going to go back to school, but I didn't really know what area I wanted to focus on. Started getting my master's and took the job as communicable disease nurse at the health department. So I left the prison, went to the health department.
Okay.
And I liked what I was doing. I did communicable disease, and I also worked the clinic area. Very happy with it. But I went on and got my master's in nursing. And shortly after that, the position came open for the health director. And so I said, why not? And I had a couple of naysayers saying, well, you can apply, but you won't get it. But anyways, I applied anyways, and I did. That's how I began my role as health director at Montgomery County Health Department.
Was there any personal inspirations that made you strive for that, other than the naysayers? I know when somebody say you can't do something, you say I can, but was there other inspirations?
I saw a lot of things. I realized that part of the problem in our small county is the fact that our people of color are not being told everything they need to stay healthy.
And you think it's intentional?
I don't think it's intentional to a point. I just think in part, we as a people of color have to learn to ask the right questions instead of saying okay and yes, and then getting home and we're confused. We have no idea. You know, I've dealt with my neighbors calling me and saying, well, the doctor gave me this and he told me I needed to take it. And see, they forget what all the conversation is, and by the time they get home, they've forgotten everything that was said. Education is really needed before they leave that doctor's office or the clinic area or wherever. Someone should say, do you understand? And say, okay, tell me what I said. Repeat it back to me.
Right.
So you think that not getting that understanding is partially on the community and partially on the provider?
We need to learn to ask the right questions.
Right. Right.
Because we know that in most cases, providers are busy and they're not going to take that time in most cases.
That's interesting.
They'll just They'll say, take this, and they're out the door. And maybe the nurse will come in and say, you do understand, or maybe not. But it's up to us as individuals to ask the questions. We should never leave a doctor's office, emergency room, or anywhere without making sure we completely understand what we've been told.
And I've definitely seen it happen before. I've seen people, like, the doctor gave me these pain. Well, where I was hurting, well, did he say what was causing the hurt? No.
Exactly.
Why do you think that's more prevalent in the Black communities where we don't ask these figures that we deem to be of authority? We don't ask them questions. We don't question their decisions as it relates to our bodies.
And I don't know if it's because we don't want to waste their time by asking, if we don't know how to ask the question to get the answer we need, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. I think it also is born out of that being silent in the presence of authority. Like,
True.
That's what we're taught. You don't talk back to grown people. That grows up in us, right? Like, you don't talk back to your mama. You don't talk back to the preacher. You don't talk back to anybody who is in authority. It's something that happens at home. It's something that happens in church. And it happens in communities. We were definitely taught not to. You don't talk back to police officer. You get beat. I think that's something that we have to unlearn, because we have not had authority over our own lives to the point that we understand we not only should ask, but we have a right to ask. I have a right. You're telling me to take this med. I have a right to ask you why. What is it going to do for me? Why this med? We've been taught not to ask.
Well, and I'm going to tell you this, and we haven't seen many of our color in these positions. It can be a disconnect. And one thing that I appreciate about you, Ms. Perez, is that you took on that role in Montgomery County, and you allowed us to see that we do belong in those roles of authority and decision making. And from you being in that role, how do you feel like you have impacted the lives of our Black and historically excluded communities?
I really believe that those that come behind me, that they can reach for it. Just get your education. If this is what you want to do, don't listen to naysayers, because I've had that happen to me. Someone say, well, you can apply, but you won't get it.
Now, was this someone who had the authority to keep you from getting it, or someone who was afraid you would get it if you did apply?
I think they were afraid that I would get it, but at that time, they were my supervisor.
Oh, wow. So you definitely have identified that challenge. What were some of the other challenges that you faced as the Montgomery County Health Director?
I wasn't the first, you know that.
Right. She got ran out. She got ran off.
Exactly.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
She did.
She tried.
So, and after a couple of other ones had come in, and me coming in, there were snide remarks made.
Microaggression.
Yeah, kind of like, well, when I first applied, of course, I shared with you that they said you can apply, but you won't get it. That kind of attitude. And I think there was some drawback. There was some, when I was going in and I didn't fully know all the particulars of the role, and I would ask a question and it would be like, well, I don't know, or you need to find that out for yourself. That kind of.
That's amazing.
So I learned really quickly where my fences were, and I learned who I needed to go to get the information I needed. And it wasn't always inside the building.
That's what I was going to ask.
Exactly. I think any of us who have held leadership roles in our communities realize that we cannot ask the people in our community who should be willing and able to tell us how to do our job, but we had to go outside. And so definitely understand that. So you overcome it by your fortitude to search it out for yourself. So they must have thought you wouldn't do that when they said you need to find out for yourself. They thought that was a lock, not a key.
Exactly. I thank God for the perseverance, because
exactly.
I was like, what? I don't need it. And I give the good Lord a lot of credit for keeping me where I was in place, and also for closing my mouth.
Well, that's a strength in itself, is to be able to not speak when you know it's not beneficial. I know that it had to have some personal impact on your life. So what did you do to stay healthy?
I prayed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My word a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good connection because there are other health directors of color, North Carolina. And when I would go to the meetings, I would make sure that I would have conversations with them and ask them, how are you doing? Are you having this issue? If you're having this, how do you work through it? And so that helped a lot. That really did. And of course, prayer. Most definitely prayer. And
Most definitely.
Because he covered me and he kept my mouth closed a lot of times.
Yes.
It's like, no, you can't say that.
Because, you know, I think one of the tactics is to identify us as the mad black woman.
Right.
And so they say provocative things to get us to walk out of our character so they can say, see, I told you. I'm glad that you were able to control that by the grace of God. That was good.
A couple of times I wasn't really good at it.
Well, at least they couldn't run you out of town. They ran the last director. I mean, they put graffiti on her house. They made it difficult for her. And she wasn't originally from this county, so I guess she just didn't find it worth the hassle. They made sure she didn't.
Do you feel like you were supported by the community that you served? I feel like being in those positions, we get in those positions because of our own experience and how we want to help. We want to make sure it's an equal playing field. Like we want equity. So it's not that we overextend ourselves for our Black communities, but we make sure that the same treatment that others have received in the past, that ours have that same access. So it's all about equity. Do you feel like that same community that you were helping, that they were supportive for you?
I do. I even had some clients that would call me and say, oh, I'm glad you were there because I've been there before. This is what happened. And I feel good that you're here. I think the other side of that coin is the fact that I would get calls from people, whether they were treated good, bad, they would call me because they knew that I was there. Talk to me about whatever the issue was. And everybody did not know that, but I kept me a little book. And then when I at meetings, I would bring up, say for instance, this happens. What would you do? I didn't want to put that person on blast, but I wanted them to know that I was aware somehow of the things that were going on.
That's a good strategy. Whenever you're looking at strategies that speak to the service that you have implemented in the local community, being able to speak up in a way that would lead to results and a form of accountability.
Exactly.
What other strategies do you feel like were developed during your time as health director?
I had a really good outreach staff. I call them outreach staff, but health educators.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like when I would go to them and say, how about if we try to get in this community and do this, they were all for it. You got to have someone that's not afraid to meet the needs of all people. I mean, that was the slogan, or that is the slogan, a place for all people.
Mm-hmm.
So to provide the service for all people. Yes, I know that I still had some people that weren't really happy with me, but it's okay. The main thing is we serve the community, and that's what was important to me, regardless of your color, your religion, or whatever.
You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. We'll be right back after the break.
Beyond the Barriers Radio Show.
We know that taking charge of your health is crucial, but did you know that many historically excluded communities face unique health barriers? It's time to break down those barriers and take control of your well-being.
In these communities, access to quality healthcare can be challenging, and that's why it's more important than ever to ask your doctor the right questions. Don't be afraid to speak up about your concerns or seek clarification about your health.
That's right, your health matters, and so does your voice. But we understand that navigating the healthcare system can be tricky. That's why we encourage you to visit your local health department. They're here to help bridge the gap and provide resources tailored to your community.
By taking that extra step, you'll be taking control of your health journey. So, what should you ask your doctor? Well, start by understanding your treatment options, discussing any potential side effects, and making sure you're actively involved in your healthcare decisions.
Remember, your health is your most valuable asset, and asking questions is your right. Let's break down those barriers and create a healthier, more informed community together.
Visit your local health department today and take the first step towards a healthier you, because everyone deserves access to quality healthcare.
I'm just a kid, but I know something big. I know the power of community. In our historically excluded neighborhoods, we can rise together. We need your help, your support. Let's build something stronger and break the cycle. A better future is within reach, but we need you. Join hands, be the change. Together, we are a force. This is our community, our story. Will you be a part of it? Visit sandhillscooperation.org and become a part of the change.
Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live through free TuneIn radio app, Streama, Apple Music, Radio Seed, and more. You're listening to Beyond the Barriers radio show, and I'm your host, Mayor Sherry.
And I'm Coach Cindy. How were you able to collaborate with other businesses and organizations, and more specifically Black businesses and organizations, in order to impact or create a stronger support network system in your community?
Well, I really originally started out trying to reach out and try to attend some meetings, some churches, that kind of thing, to show up. I started out doing that originally. Then I kind of got bogged down, and I had health educators that said, well, why are you doing this when we can do it?
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, but
do it, right? Exactly.
Everybody, it's not sector, because Montgomery County is Montgomery County. But I really did enjoy it early on, going out and just being seen in the community.
And that is definitely important for our community, for Black communities, to see somebody that looks like us taking interest in what we do and how we are in our communities, because we've had white counterparts come out and they're always seemed like they had the savior mentality. Like, I come to save you, instead of, what do you need so that I can help you save yourself? But when you got somebody that looks like you that's coming in and saying, hey, you guys, are y'all dealing with this? And then you open up and talk about it. Makes the biggest difference on how you perceive the help that you're getting. You could be offering the same help. It's just how you present it to me makes the biggest difference.
I found out it's not a push. Let's do this together. I'm not pushing you.
Right.
But together, let's work out how it's going to work for you. Everybody's different.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. As you have been in the field for, about 30 years, 30 plus years?
Yeah.
What has been some of your biggest surprises?
Coming to North Carolina was...
Was it a culture shock?
That's what I was getting to ask.
It was meant to be. I learned a lot, believe me. It's amazing how you grow up, and you grow up around everybody. Italians, white, Hispanic, you know, because they'll come here and it's like, what happened? You know? How come people can get along and do all these things together here, and you come here and it's like everybody's in their own little separate section.
Wow.
Right.
Everybody has the same health needs. Everybody can get sick and have the same diseases, so everybody should get the same information. But
so now, was there any good surprises? Uh-oh, she got quiet.
Well, I think so. Once I learned more people, especially getting involved in my church, learning more people, being able to talk to them, it made it better. And I'm not going to say that all of those people are the same, because there's good and bad people everywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Once I was really here for a length of time, I learned who I could talk to and who I could talk to about who I needed to go to if I really needed to get something done. Because some people will say, yes, we'll do it all day. And nothing.
We never show up. We know those. You were definitely a pleasant surprise for us, especially after what happened to the other African American woman who was in your position prior to that. I have often wondered what was the difference. I didn't get an opportunity to really get to know her or talk with her, but I do do remember that in her leaving, it was like, this is not what I came for. I don't need this.
I never understood because I was never close to her, but I never understood what was going on. And it may have been because of the neighborhood that she chose to live in.
Right. I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't want her living there. That was one of the things. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would do different if you had to go back and do it all over again?
I'd run.
No running allowed, okay? No running allowed.
No. I accepted the challenge. I think I would, I probably wouldn't change anything. I really wouldn't. My whole purpose in going into that position was to do the best that I could for the county, people in the county, the community, and to have a staff that was with me. We could sit down and see the issue and then say, okay, this is how we're gonna tackle these issues one by one. We're gonna really do something to make a difference. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want us just to be the health department that you come to get shots. Really wanted us to make a difference in the community.
That was one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I don't know if it's just I never had the opportunity to know about the health educators, or was that something you implemented when you became the health director?
They were always there.
They were always there. But now, and I'm not going to say they weren't effective, because maybe I just wasn't in a place where I needed them. But I met your health educators through the initiative with Better Together Montgomery. I know under your directorship, that was one collaboration that really gave me an opportunity to see them in action, to see that they were about community.
Did you choose your team?
Most of everybody was in place, like Rhonda and Kimberly. Those two were already in place when I got there. Other lady that she left, Brenda, she left and retired, and then we got Kimberly and we had Rhonda. But all the other ones, yes, they're interviewed by us and they're selected. But you know, people interview the way they want you to think they are. You understand?
Yes. It's called putting your best foot forward, but we need to change that narrative. I need to see your walk.
He's just lying.
That's hard, because you know, a lot of times people have their own agendas.
That's true.
And they can talk good talk.
Yeah.
They think they're the best thing, but they have those hidden agendas, and it comes out.
Do you find that that's something that, as a Black woman in that position, that you had to always consider? Is this authentic, or is this an agenda dig?
Exactly. I shouldn't have felt that way, but at times I did. And sometimes, just being a woman of color, and you're working in an atmosphere where you're the only one of color, you know, you have those thoughts like, who's really with me and who's trying to stab me?
Right.
So that's why my knees are really bruised.
I know, right? I got the prayer bruise on.
Overall, I think the staff that I worked with at the health department overall were good. They were dedicated to what they needed to be dedicated to.
Right.
Maybe they didn't always agree with me and my ideology, but that's okay. People aren't going to agree with you.
That's true.
The main thing is we can get together and we can decide and say, okay, for the greater good, this is it. And it's not about us. It wasn't about us. It was about the community.
Exactly.
As long as we did what we needed to do for the community, we did it. We were okay. Because there were plenty of days I'd go in my office and shut the door. When I shut the door, everybody know, don't bother her.
Yeah, you know, if you have more than two people, then you probably got more than two opinions about how something should happen. But when you focus on the purpose, it makes it easy to at least find common ground. If everybody's purpose is to serve the community to the best of your ability, then you just, you know, you can find that common ground to do it. But on top of that, just being what you have to do, being a Black woman in a position where you are in authority over people that don't look like you, who have been taught subliminally or otherwise that you should never be over them. That in itself is a challenge.
You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. We'll be right back after the break. This is Mayor Sherry
And Coach Cindy, host of Beyond the Barriers.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome, Mayor Sherry.
Yes, good to see you as well, Coach Cindy.
Oh yeah, you know we have so much that we have to talk about.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
Don't miss out Sundays at 5 p.m. on WDRBmedia.com.
Looking for a dynamic workspace to fuel your creativity and boost productivity? Welcome to the Innovative Action Center, your hub for co-working and meeting space at 346 North Main Street, Troy, North Carolina. Become a member and enjoy 24/7 access, high-speed Wi-Fi, cozy coffee bar, and snacks to keep you energized. Elevate your business game with our membership packages. For more information, contact us at 910-573-3070 or visit sandhillscooperation.org. The Innovative Action Center is more than a workspace. It's a community dedicated to business development and job creation. Join us for monthly workshops, seminars, and entrepreneurial services. Take your business to new heights at the Innovative Action Center. Visit us today.
Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And those streaming live through free TuneIn radio app, Streama, Apple Music, Radio Seed, and more. You're listening to Beyond the Barriers radio show, and I'm your host, Mayor Sherry.
And I'm Coach Cindy.
Now, I know that every time there's a shift in the Board of Commissioners, each one may have their own agenda as well and their own way of looking at things. Was there anything that you had to adjust to, or did that impact you in any way?
No, I can't say that it ever did. My biggest conflict did not come from the commissioners. It came from my boss. If there was any conflict to be had, it came from the manager. Exactly.
Gotcha.
You know, the commissioners would ask me questions. I give them the answer. I mean, that's all I can do is give you the facts. I give you the facts.
Do you feel like your role was respected by leadership?
I think so, especially the last couple of years with COVID.
Oh
yeah. They heavily relied on you during COVID.
We really had to drive the bus, and we had to make sure all of our I's were dotted and T's were crossed because they were waiting something that we didn't do right. But I'm thankful I'm thankful to the staff because I did have a good crew, and they did well.
Even during COVID, that was more political, wasn't it, rather than community-based?
It was.
Gotcha.
But see, people, and that's what really made our job so difficult. It's because politically they heard all this negative stuff, and then we're trying to be the public health and say you need to take this vaccine, or you need to do this because you've been exposed. So then we became the bad guys.
Of course, you're the ones they can see. They can't see them sitting up there in the White House or Congress and saying, no, we're not going to do this, or no, they're going to have to do that. But when it comes out of your mouth, you become the maker of those rules. And they didn't understand that you were just following the rules yourself.
Exactly. And, there were some health directors that got threatened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was bad for some of them. People would ride by their house. I got paranoid myself one evening. I came in from work and I looked out and there was a car parked in front of my driveway. And I was like, who that?
Right.
Well, I know driveway. But I was just, because that was going on.
Yeah.
They were, we were taking away their rights, their freedom. They couldn't go here. They couldn't go there. All we're trying to do is protect you.
Right. Some people who was actually afraid of COVID because of their political affiliation, they would not be protected.
Right.
They would not stand protected. I had an instance where some of those same people who were saying that they should not have to wear masks wore masks when they weren't around those people. They would say they didn't have to wear masks. And so, and it's sad that we are that politically driven, but it happens.
Right. Are there any success stories or any stories that you can share of significant impact that the health department had on our historically excluded communities?
I think the outreach that we were doing for a while, I think that was very helpful. I did some where I'd go out and I spoke to certain groups. If they asked me, I would personally go out and talk to them. Our communities, especially the marginalized ones, that's what I always like to share with them, because when you go to see a doctor or you go to the emergency room, it's very important that you do not leave there not knowing exactly what you need to do to get better.
And so having those conversations in your communities where you could actually have that conversation, like, listen, guys, you really need to be an advocate of yourself. You feel like that actually impacted the way some people actually visit their primary doctors or emergency room?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I really, because I stressed it, because it's very important. I've dealt with people in my church, older people especially, and they say, the doctor gave me this, you know, and they give me what else did he say? He just told me I needed to take it six times a day. I said, did he tell you why he was giving it to you? Well, if he did, I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
I asked him, what is this for? They don't ask those questions. And that's the thing. We know to ask those questions.
Right.
Yeah, they don't, they just take whatever's given to them and say, okay, no questions.
Right.
But you haven't asked questions.
Well, because the doctor said, and he's the authority. And he said, I need to take, I've had that conversation with my husband, like, why are you on this medicine? And is there something else that you could do that's less effect? The side effects were really bothering him, but I had to be with him to help advocate that, because he just felt like, you know, I ain't no doctor, is what I ain't know. The doctor know what he gave me, but that's not always the case.
But that's the mentality.
Yeah.
It's not just people of color. You know?
Right. Right.
There's a lot of colors too that have the same issue, and I say, well, did you act?
Yeah.
Did you have? It's just very important for people to understand and realize too that they have a right to act.
Yes.
Right. So if you could give a word to our historically excluded communities about their health, what should our communities be focusing on the most?
They really need to be focused on, and I know they're going to hate me for this, focus on their dietary habits, first of all. If you go to the doctor and they say you have high blood pressure, and these are the things you can do to help reduce it. So you don't go home and fry up a pan of fatback.
You don't? Okay.
You don't go home and throw a bottle of food. It's the little things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We don't, because I know our ancestors didn't have a choice.
And they didn't have the stuff inside of I think fatback 20 years ago or 30 years ago is not the fatback that we get now. These hogs didn't get the same food that they get now.
Right.
So we have chemicals in our foods that we're not aware of. So I can eat fatback now and know that there's poison in that food.
Oh, yeah.
Back then we were raising our own pigs.
And that was different.
Yes.
But now there's so many preservatives and additives.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It used to be the smokehouse. I don't know what's in them now.
So looking at all of that with our eating habits and making sure that we are eating healthy, how often should people go in order to get checkups and to just make sure that their body is where it needs to be?
Right.
Everybody should.
At least annually. Gotcha.
If you already have some type of chronic condition, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney issues, anything like that, yes. And also, in order to keep those organs healthy, we have to eat healthy. A lot of times, we have diabetics. They know that they don't need pure cane sugar. They don't need it. And the substitutes are better. What do you tell them to do? Because you know they're going to want something sweet.
Right.
Natural honey is better than white granulated sugar. They have agave, which is a sugar substitute. I'm not too keen on that pink stuff or the blue stuff. But
natural sugars versus refined is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we at the end of the day, the bottom line is we have to take control of our own health. We do. And the other thing is they should never leave a doctor's office and not understand what they've been told.
Right.
Getting understanding.
That's right.
Eating well, making regular checkups on our health.
Yes.
Doesn't seem that hard.
It doesn't, but even the simple things we make difficult.
Just learning how to, to unlearn those things that keep us like. In our community, if I don't go to the doctor, he don't tell me, that means I ain't got it. So we don't go to the
right.
So we don't go to the doctor.
We don't go to the doctor.
Right. Which we know that's not true, but it just sounds good. I ain't went to the doctor because I don't want to hear him say I got this and that.
But then 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down the road, you're sick.
Right, and you have to go to the doctor. He's going to tell you that anyway, what you were trying not to hear.
And you could have prevented it.
Gotcha. We do appreciate just the contribution that you have made and planted into our communities. And from those 30 plus years that you've served here in Montgomery County, and I've seen a transformation, even with the people think of the health department, how I used to think of the health department. I just thought it was you get an STD, you go to the health department, right? Or you get pregnant, right? But you have changed that narrative in our communities here in Montgomery County. And for that, we are very appreciative. Any last words that you want to leave for our listeners?
I just want everybody to stay healthy and well and do what you need to do for yourself, your body, and your family.
Our health impacts everybody that loves us.
If that's right. Yes. And don't be afraid to ask a question.
She gonna run that home, ain't she?
Good.
And I think, and it's good. Yes, I hope if they get nothing else, that they hear that. We need to advocate for our own selves. Yes.
Don't sit there and shake your head up and down and then get home and be like, I don't know. No.
Right.
You have an opportunity to ask and get an understanding. That's the key.
That's right. And all you're getting, get understanding.
Well, thank you once again for joining us on Beyond the Barriers radio show. So thank you so much again. All right. Take care. Ready to ignite change? Sand Hills Cooperation Association empowers historically excluded communities, helping them become self-sufficient. Join us every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. for our Beyond the Barriers radio show on WDRB Media with Mayor Sherry
and Coach Cindy addressing community challenges. Visit us at sandhillscooperation.org or visit us on Facebook, Sand Hills Cooperation Association, building brighter futures one community at a time.
Attention innovators, community builders, and champions of positive change. Beyond the Barriers radio show is inviting you to be part of our empowering journey. We're on the lookout for sponsors who believe in breaking barriers and amplifying voices in historically excluded communities. Want to showcase your brand or cause to our engaged audience? Visit Sand Hills Cooperation or to explore exciting sponsorship opportunities, from on-air endorsements to impactful commercials. Become a part of a platform that celebrates resilience, triumph, and community strength. Our show is not just about telling stories. It's about shaping narratives and making a lasting impact. By sponsoring Beyond the Barriers, you align your brand with a mission of inclusivity, empowerment, and positive change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org today to purchase advertisements, endorsements, or even secure a spot as a guest on our show. Let's break barriers together and create a vibrant, connected community. Beyond the Barriers radio show, where every sponsorship is an investment in positive transformation. Be a catalyst for change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org now. Beyond the Barriers radio show. Breaking barriers, building connections.
Beyond the Barriers nugget of wisdom from Coach Cindy.
Hi, this is Coach Cindy with your nugget of wisdom for the week. And today we're going to talk about wisdom. What is it? Where does it come from? And what is it good for? Wisdom is defined as keenly perceptive, sharp discernment. Wisdom is synonymous with the word sagacious, whose root word is sage, what is known for its cognitive astuteness. There's two types of wisdom, however. One is worldly wisdom, and one is wisdom from above. The wisdom from the world is forever changing, because the world is forever changing. But the wisdom from above is the character of God. It is the God of the universe who created all things that is. And it is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and open to reason. It is full of mercy and good fruit. It's impartial and sincere. This wisdom is more precious than anything of value in the earth. This wisdom is foolish only to fools, but to those who understand its value, it is a pleasure to receive. To receive this wisdom, you must first reverence the Creator of all things, the Lord of the universe, as the source. You then understand its value and forever praise His name. Let's be wise.
Beyond the Barriers nugget of wisdom from Coach Cindy.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
Get ready for inspiration and empowerment every Sunday at 5 p.m. on WDRBmedia.com with the Beyond the Barriers radio show. Join Mayor Sherry and Coach Cindy as they tackle the issues facing historically excluded communities. It's a powerful conversation on cooperative models, breaking barriers in economic, social justice, health, and education. Tune in, engage, and be part of the change. Visit us on Facebook at Beyond the Barriers radio show. Don't miss out, Sundays at 5 p.m. on WDRBmedia.com.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of creativity and community spirit? Look no further than the George Washington Carver Community Enrichment Center in Asheboro, at 950 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, in the heart of Asheboro's East Side community. We're more than just a center. We're a hub of artistic expression, where a diverse range of activities, classes, and performances come to life. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to create unity and pride in our community through the arts. Join us in building a better community together. Visit gwccashboro.com to discover the magic that happens at the George Washington Carver Community Enrichment Center, where creativity knows no bounds. Building a better community through the arts.
Are you looking for a way to make a difference in the lives of those in need? Look no further than Grace Given, a nonprofit organization dedicated to caring for individuals facing life's challenges. At Grace Given, we provide a haven of support, offering essential services for a brighter future. Our facility is equipped with showers, laundry services, clothing, and shelter. But that's not all. We go beyond the basics. We offer mentorship programs, job opportunities, and daily essentials to empower individuals on their journey to success. Visit our website at www.gracegiven05.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Together, we can make a lasting impact. For inquiries, contact us at Post Office Box 2536, Asheboro, North Carolina 27204. Call 336-465-6432 or email gracegiven05@gmail.com, because everyone deserves a chance at a better life.
Introducing Community Who Cares, a nonprofit organization dedicated to transforming lives and revitalizing communities. Grover Schenkel, a proud native of Stanley County, founded Community Who Cares with a vision to make a lasting impact in 2008. The mission is clear: to educate, mentor, and restore the gaps in low economic communities, creating a ripple effect that spans generations. We empower leaders to reclaim their communities, fostering economic independence and resourcefulness. Community Who Cares proudly partners with companies and organizations, supporting self-sufficiency initiatives. We believe in action, in making a tangible difference. Our crews demolish structures, remove blight, and beautify neighborhoods, creating safe and thriving spaces for everyone. Founded by Grover Schenkel, a compassionate visionary, Community Who Cares is a testament to the power of community-driven change. Get involved and be part of the change. Contact us at communitywhocaresnc@gmail.com or call or text 980-439-9884. Together, let's build a brighter future for Stanley County.
Are you searching for a church that's more than just a place of worship? Resurrection Community Church, located at 1325 East Main Street, Albemarle, North Carolina 28001, with Pastor Michael and Lady Kendallin Stovall. A church called to make a difference. Join us online every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. for a powerful Sunday service, and every Wednesday at 6:00 p.m. for our enlightening Bible study. Connect with us on Facebook to stay in the know with RCC. But it doesn't end there. At Resurrection Community Church, we believe in making a difference in our homes, in our workplaces, and in our communities. Explore our Feeding Souls ministry, inspired by Matthew chapter 25, verse 35, providing nourishment to those in need. Our mission is clear: to help surrounding communities thrive by preventing hunger through adequate food support. Our vision: to have supporters like you join us in ensuring everyone has access to healthy, nutritious foods. Visit us in person or online and become a part of a church making a real impact. Resurrection Community Church, where faith meets action.
In a world filled with challenges, where hope seems distant, there shines a beacon of light, the Pillars of Hope Incorporated. At the Pillars of Hope, our mission is simple yet powerful: to provide resources and opportunities that positively impact low-income and small communities. We believe in unity, awareness, and lifelong inspiration that empowers individuals to reach their potential and uplift future generations. Join us on a journey of growth, purpose, and empowerment. Let us be your guiding light as you embark on a path of self-belief and confidence in your dreams. Contact us at info@thepillarsofhope.org or call 910-315-0713. Visit our website at thepillarsofhope.org to learn more about our programs and events. The Pillars of Hope Incorporated, building a better tomorrow, one dream at a time.
Welcome to Moco Life 910, where empowerment meets opportunity. At Moco Life 910, our mission is clear: to inspire positive life outcomes and strengthen family bonds within the Montgomery County community. Founded in April 2016, Moco Life 910 was born from a vision to sow seeds of positivity and change within our hometown. Led by passionate individuals who call Montgomery County home, we're dedicated to empowering our community one person at a time. With a direct approach to service provision, we focus on character building and mentorship, guiding troubled youth and individuals in need toward a brighter future. Join us in shaping a brighter tomorrow. Contact us at mocolife910@gmail.com or visit our website at www.mocolife910.org to learn more. Moco Life 910, empowering communities, transforming lives.
We have been discussing community health with traditional medicines and practices. Join us next week as we discuss holistic medicines and practices.
We want to thank today's guest, Mary Perez, the former Montgomery County, North Carolina Health Department. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Please listen live 24/7 by going to wdrbmedia.com and click on the Listen Live tab. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show or want free advertising, call us at 910-573-3070 or email us at sandhillscooperation@gmail.com. Connect with us on social media at Sand Hills Cooperation Association, also at Beyond the Barriers Radio Show. You've been listening to Beyond the Barriers Radio Show, and we are your hosts, Mayor Sherry
and Coach Cindy, on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Sowing seeds of change, breaking barriers, and transforming lives. That's what we do at Beyond the Barriers. Until next week, continue to be blessed.
Beyond the Barriers Radio Show